Some promotions come with more than a raise. For Amelia Green, it came with a secret that would shatter her belief in loyalty, ambition, and everything she thought she knew about the people she worked for. Amelia Green wasn't special. At least that's what she told herself every morning while buttoning her fading blue blouse. She worked in a small financial firm downtown, blending in among a sea of ambition and fake smiles. 5 years of quiet effort, of being invisible, and still no promotion, no recognition, just endless spreadsheets and coffee runs. Then one Friday morning, everything changed. "Miss Green," Mr. Larkin's voice echoed from across the floor. Her boss never called her by name. "Step into my office." Her stomach tightened. Colleagues exchanged glances, whispers like static in the air. Amelia followed, clutching her notepad as if it were armor. Inside, the office smelled of cologne and power. Mr. Larkin leaned back in his leather chair, a half-smile curling on his lips. "You've been here a long time, haven't you?" he asked. "Yes, sir," she replied softly. He nodded, eyes sharp. "I've been watching you. You're different, loyal, quiet, reliable. I think you deserve a chance at something bigger." Amelia blinked, unsure if she heard right. "A promotion, sir?" He smiled. "Something like that, but it's confidential. Before we proceed, I need you to sign an NDA." He slid a folder across the desk, the letters NDA stamped bold and black. Her pulse raced. Why would a promotion need secrecy? She hesitated, pen hovering. Mr. Larkin's gaze never wavered. "If you want to grow here, Amelia trusts everything." And she signed. Later that night, the building was almost empty when he asked her to come by the executive office. She expected a new project, maybe training material. Instead, she found a dimly lit conference room, documents scattered, screens on standby, and, on the desk, a folder marked client transfers, internal adjustments. Curiosity whispered. She opened it. Numbers, signatures, and transfer codes, all leading to one shocking truth. The firm had been funneling client money into private accounts overseas, Mr. Larkin's accounts. Her breath caught. The promotion wasn't about trust. It was about silence. Behind her, the door clicked. "Curiosity," Mr. Larkin's voice broke the silence, "can be dangerous in this business." Amelia froze. His tone was calm, almost casual, but his eyes, they carried warning. "I thought I was giving you an opportunity," he continued, stepping closer. "But maybe I misjudged your loyalty." For a moment, she saw it, the man behind the charm. Cold, calculated, ruthless. "I'm not like you," she whispered. His jaw tightened. "Then you don't belong here." That night, Amelia copied every file she found. Every name, every transfer. Then she walked out and never looked back. 3 days later, headlines flooded every business network. Corporate fraud exposed, CFO under investigation. No one knew how the documents reached the authorities. But those who looked closely noticed a quiet resignation letter left on Mr. Larkin's desk, signed by Amelia Green. She never took the promotion. Instead, she found something far rarer, her voice. Because sometimes the real reward isn't moving up the ladder. It's having the courage to burn it down. 3 days after she walked out of that office, Amelia sat in her tiny apartment, staring at the muted television. Her name wasn't in the headlines. She made sure of that. But the story she'd set free had taken on a life of its own. Corporate fraud exposed. CFO under investigation. The words echoed again and again, but instead of satisfaction, she felt empty. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Miss Green," a man's voice said, firm and official. "This is Agent Collins from the Financial Crimes Bureau. We'd like to ask you a few questions." Her chest tightened. She'd known this moment would come. "I already gave him everything," she whispered. "Maybe so," the agent replied, "but you're not as invisible as you think." Click. The line went dead. That night, she noticed a black sedan parked across the street, its headlights off, its engine silent. For 3 days straight, it didn't move. By the next week, the firm had collapsed. Investors withdrew. Employees panicked. Mr. Larkin's picture was everywhere, stern in his mugshot, handcuffed, eyes hollow. But power has a way of finding cracks to crawl through. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived at Amelia's door. No stamp, no sender, just her name typed. Inside was a single line. "You shouldn't have crossed me." Her hands trembled. She rushed to her window. The black sedan was gone. That night, she packed a bag, took a train 3 towns over, and rented a small room above a cafe. She told no one her real name. She thought she'd escaped. Until the news broke again. Larkin released on bail pending appeal. He wasn't in prison anymore. And worse, he was talking. In every interview, he called the evidence fabricated and hinted at a disloyal employee who betrayed company trust. Amelia's hands shook as she turned off the TV. He was setting the stage, making her the villain before she could speak. One morning, she found an envelope slid under her door. Inside, a photo. Her, walking home from the cafe. The back read, "We can still fix this." Her breath caught. Fear turned to anger. He still thought he owned her, that she'd stay silent. But Amelia Green wasn't the same woman who once blended into office walls. She returned to the city under a new name. She met quietly with Agent Collins, the same man who had once called her. This time, she brought proof, not just files, but recordings, audio she had saved from that night in the office, where Larkin's voice had threatened her. Curiosity can be dangerous in this business. The agent's expression hardened. "You kept this?" Amelia nodded. "I kept everything." Within a month, new charges surfaced. Larkin's bail was revoked. The second arrest was quieter. No reporters, no headlines. Just a man realizing the walls had finally closed in. Months later, Amelia stood outside the courthouse, the autumn wind tugging at her coat. Reporters rushed past her, chasing others. No one recognized her. She smiled softly. Anonymity had become her freedom. A familiar voice called from behind. "You did the right thing, Miss Green." It was Agent Collins. "Did I?" she asked, her eyes distant. "I lost everything." He nodded. "Maybe, but sometimes losing everything is how you find yourself again." Amelia looked up at the gray sky. For the first time in years, it didn't feel heavy. She walked away without looking back. Not toward the office she once feared. Not toward the man who tried to silence her. Just forward. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is start over.